Hi, Lowell Public Schools families. I'm Jeffrey Pickett, the Community Outreach Strategist. And on this Back to School update, I'm joined by Dave Lazinski, the Director of Athletics for Lowell High School, and we'll be discussing sports, particularly fall sports, and how it relates to COVID-19 protocols. Like everything, it's a fluid situation, but we're on top of it and we're going to provide you with the latest updates. So that being said, let's turn things over to Dave, who will take us through a presentation today to give you the latest on sports at Lowell High School. Dave, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Jeff. It's great to be here.
So let's get this presentation up on the screen. All right, and take it away.
Great. Thanks, Jeff. And welcome everybody in the Lowell community. And hopefully we're off to a safe and healthy start. I just wanted to go over a couple of things in regards to athletics at the high school level. The agenda is going to be that I'm going to talk about the schedule of high school sports in 2020 and 2021, the COVID plan for sports, the COVID data and impact on fall sports seasons, the Merrimack Valley Contest Day operations, which would include screening procedures, face masks and coverings, venue restrictions and spectator guidelines, and also transportation. So as far as for the schedule of high school sports in 2020 and 2021, the MIAA, that is the Massachusetts Interscholastic Athletic Association, COVID-19 Task Force, recommended and the Board of Directors endorsed the following season structure for the 2020-21 academic year. September 18th through November 20th is going to be the Fall Sports 1 season. That encompasses boys and girls cross country and golf will play, boys and girls soccer, field hockey, and girls volleyball is currently scheduled for Fall 1, but it may be forced to move to Fall 2. Fall crew will not be offered due to the COVID-related closure of the Belgrade Boathouse. Football is allowed to practice per MIAA rules. The winter season is November 30th through February 21st. Boys and girls basketball, boys and girls hockey, wrestling, boys and girls gymnastics, boys and girls indoor track, winter cheer, and boys swim and dive. The MIA meets in early November, and then we will know their plan, which we have to follow, for high school sports in the winter months. Fall Sports 2, the season is February 22nd through April 25th. It includes football, competitive cheer, girls swim and dive, unified basketball, and any sport not played in Fall Season 1. And then finally, spring sports season. Spring sports will be April 26th through July 3rd. That's a little later than usual, but it includes baseball, softball, boys and girls lacrosse, boys and girls tennis, boys and girls track, boys volleyball, and boys and girls crew. So what is our COVID-19 plan for sports? Please remember, the health and safety of our school communities must remain at the top priority. And we recognize that any plans for athletic opportunities must adapt to evolving public health metrics. Our goal is to keep student athletes safely participating in their sport throughout the season. We will be following health and safety guidelines from several organizations. The Massachusetts Executive Office of Energy and Environmental Affairs, which is the EEA, the Massachusetts Department of Elementary and Secondary Education, the Massachusetts Interscholastic Athletic Association, and our conference, the Merrimack Valley Conference. So COVID data and impact on the fall sports season. The state provides a weekly update on Wednesdays at approximately 6 o'clock at night and codes each city in Massachusetts as green, yellow, or red, based on the average daily case rate per 100,000 residents. As part of the most recent update on September 30th, Lowell was elevated to red, which means our city has an average daily case rate of more than 8 per 100,000 residents. According to today's update, Lowell's average daily case rate per 100,000 is 10.9. Including Lowell, 5 Merrimack Valley Conference communities were newly identified this week as red on the state's community level data map, bringing the total of 6 communities representing 7 of the 11 MVC schools. While DESE guidance indicates that we should not make decisions about educational learning models until we examine multiple weeks of data, this recent increase of cases gives us pause for concern in regards to interscholastic activities as they mix cohorts of students from multiple communities. Simply put, we want to proceed cautiously in order not to put our students, their families, or our communities at higher risk until we know about the trajectory of the virus in this area. MVC member schools have jointly agreed that we take the following actions. For sports designated as low risk by DESE and the MIAA, where students from opposing schools do not physically interact, interscholastic competitions can currently proceed as scheduled. This includes cross-country, boys and girls, and golf. For sports designated as moderate risk by DESE and the MIAA, all interscholastic competitions scheduled for this week will be postponed until later in the fall season. We will reassess after next Wednesday's weekly report is published, which would be on October 7th. This includes field hockey, soccer, and volleyball. Options include moving forward with a season with modified schedules or postponing at this time until the fall 2 season, February 22nd through April 25th. For sports designated as high risk, the seasons have already been moved to the fall 2 season, which is later in the year, February 22nd through April 25th. This includes competitive cheer, football, and unified basketball. Girls swimming and diving was also moved to fall 2. The fall sports 1 season. Lowell High School teams participating in the fall 1 season started practice on September 18th. So first game and first matches. Golf has already been out and played. Their first match was September 30th. Cross country plays today, which is October 2nd. Boys and girls soccer, field hockey, and girls volleyball, that date is TBA. The high school schedule. Only teams in the MVC will play each other. We're only playing league or conference games. Practice. Boys and girls soccer, field hockey, and girls volleyball will continue to practice while the season is on pause. And then we have some of our fine student athletes, some pictures of our fine student athletes. It really was a pleasure watching them out on their competition fields or courses or courts, it's really exciting. It's pleasurable. So, Merrimack Valley Conference Contest Day operations, and this is kind of important. Contest Day screening procedures. Working with the MVC, we have a COVID-19 Contest Day screening procedures for student athletes, staff, and game officials. Athletic directors, coaches, and athletic directors all have taken the NFHS COVID-19 course and are prepared to handle any situation that may arise. Game day face masks and coverings. We will be following the guidelines set forth by DESE and the MIAA, and student athletes will be wearing masks while participating in their sport. This includes wearing a mask on the bus to and from the game, on the sideline, during practice, even while on the field during a game or match. Coaches and athletic trainers will also be wearing masks. There is one exception. Masks do not need to be worn if athletes or staff can safely socially distance at least 6 feet while outdoors.
And just to go back, Dave, I think it's important to point out that's why when you were looking at the photos just a minute ago in this presentation. That's why the golfers were not wearing masks. That's a sport where you would not have to wear a mask, correct?
That is correct. Spectator guidelines. As part of the COVID-19 protocols, there are several venue-related restrictions. No auxiliary personnel at games, including cheerleaders or band members. Outdoor spectator guidelines. Crowds are limited to 50 people, 25 for the home team, 25 for the away team. Check-in will be required at each Lowell High School game site. Spectators must socially distance and wear face coverings at all times. Unfortunately, student spectators are not allowed unless they are attending in place of a student's family member. There will be no spectators for indoor sports such as volleyball. Guidelines for transportation of our student athletes to and from contests. Social distancing rules apply on the bus. Players will have assigned seats on the bus. Transportation will be provided to and from the event. Any student going home with a parent or guardian after a game instead of riding the team bus needs a note signed by that parent guardian.
Oh, that's the last slide in the presentation. So Dave, before we sign off, just any final thoughts on the athletics season so far?
Yeah, again, it's exciting to see the kids out on the field and to be out on the field since September 18th. And it really is enjoyable. I know that they're very happy, which is the most important thing. And obviously we will want to provide that competition, obviously with the health and safety being present in their front of their minds.
Of course, it just seems like it adds a little bit of normalcy to see student athletics underway.
Yeah, it is. It's a good thing when you drive past a field or you drive past, a school and you see volleyball players or cross country players or field hockey players, and they're just playing, which is a great thing.
Well, as you mentioned in the presentation, we'll receive more clarity in the coming weeks ahead about the fall sports season, and we'll, of course, keep you updated. So I want to thank our Lowell High Athletic Director, Dave Lazinski, for joining us on this back to school update, and we will see you next time. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you very much.